Okay, I'm co-hosting this show with Andrew Steiner. And Andrew I met because we both were hosting open mics, and he opened this place up, and for several weeks he's been hosting a show here for people, new talent mainly, to come. So here's your co-host of tonight's show, Andrew Steiner. And we have about 4 or 5 other comedians after Andrew.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Give it up again for Cooney. He was hilarious. Oh, man. And also, while you're at it, give it up for the bartender, for Pat, for Chris. Come on, it's not easy working in a restaurant. Anybody here ever work in the restaurant industry? Yeah, it's not an easy job. That's why I like to make their job easier when I go to a restaurant. You know, I'll bring my own pepper packets so they don't have to grind the pepper. I'll go to the kitchen door, and when they come out with my food, I'll bring it to the table. I don't want to make them work hard at all. When the check comes, I'll offer to write them, you know, like a recommendation to college or to another job. I mean, I don't tip because I'm poor, but I do what I can. I'll be a character reference. So everyone should treat the waitstaff nice. I mean, I guess you could also leave them a good tip. That they might like that. I guess that's almost as good. But whatever. I was thinking about nature the other day. You know, like how many amazing creatures there are. There's monkeys with big noses, my Israeli cousins. There's seahorses that like the males give birth. Did you know that? The male seahorses give birth, and they don't even make the female seahorses feel guilty about it. Women, take note here. It's a good idea. But what we don't have in nature, we don't have like illnesses that are good. I wish there was like a cold that would trim my nose hair for me, or maybe like you'd be driving down the highway, someone cuts you off, and you just start cracking up, and you're like, oh shit, I think I'm coming down with something good, because it makes bad driving hilarious. A flu. Okay. So when I was 21, I worked in a I lived in a Zen monastery, which, for those of you who don't know what that's like, it's basically the spiritual equivalent of your mother telling you to go stand in the corner and think about what you've done. Most guys my age are just trying to get laid, you know, have sex with women, get drunk, party. I guess I was doing that too, but I had a really bad strategy. You know, it never works when you go to a party and they're like, hey baby, do you know about the wisdom of the ancients? Did you know that Chao Chu said that the dog also has Buddha nature? And I take you home and bend you over and do your doggy style and teach you about your booty nature. Didn't work, you might guess. But it was crazy. You'd be sitting in the meditation hall. You'd meditate sometimes 12 hours a day, just sitting there, not talking to anybody. And then there'd be a bell. Ding, ding, ding. And that meant it was time to interview with the master. So all of a sudden, all these white people just slap on their flip-flops and run across the grounds, and it's dark out. The shoes are falling off. You don't see anything like that except for maybe at Walmart at Christmas time here. You know, it's the only time you see anything like that in America. And the master was crazy. Like, I remember the first time he took me in and interviewed me, and his face is drenched in shadow, so it looks like half of it's just missing, and there's just empty space there, and he just says, "Show me your breath." So I do my best impression of a human breathing, and he was looking at me, wasn't helping. He breathed deeply. And then there was actually 2 masters there when I was there. There was the Japanese guy who was kind of like, talked like Yoda, but he loved Mr. Bean, and he was really strict. He told everyone not to masturbate. It was a waste of energy, supposedly. And then there was a visiting monk. He was from Maine. He had crazy eyebrows. He was an anarchist. He had manufactured 12 million hits of acid in the 80s. And one time they interviewed each other, and they were like having a shouting match, and you could hear it throughout the monastery grounds. And I imagine they were just saying, "I'm more Zen than you. No, I'm more Zen. I'm more Zen. So I am." That's probably not what they were saying, but that's how I imagined it. And I did the whole not masturbating thing. It didn't really help. I thought it was gonna like get me enlightened quicker, give me superpowers. The only superpower I got is when I caved in, you know, and I actually masturbated. I got webbed fingers, pretty good, right? Pretty good for a mere mortal. Actually, I did get one superpower meditating. It was kind of disappointing. I was sitting there, and all of a sudden I feel the muscles at the side of my neck light up, and I can wiggle my ears. Not so great, but something. It's something I can show you. I can say I learned something, right? But meditation can be great, you know. I remember just sitting there and my mind becoming pristine and calm like a Siberian lake. The problem is when you get out of the meditation, the retreat, you know, you go to a bar, you hit on some women, and your mind is still that pristine lake. But all of a sudden, there's a vagina-shaped meteor crashing into the lake, and it surfaces and out of the pee hole shoots river of vodka down your throat, and the only thing you can remember from meditating is how to wiggle your ears. So, you know what goes together really well? Coconut oil and brownies. Yeah, I masturbated with coconut oil when I was on weed brownies. Best sex of my life. Oh my god. But sometimes you learn things you don't want to know when you're fantasizing. You know, like I think that time I imagined Hillary Clinton stepping on my balls and calling me Barack Obama. I don't know why I thought that was hot. Sit on my face and talk about healthcare reform, please. But you learn even worse things. And I don't know if I know there's a lot of more mature people here. I don't know if your generation can relate with this, but our generation, the younger generation, is just growing up on porn, which is really weird. You know, like nothing is disgusting to us. So maybe like for your generation, it was weird to see interracial sex. But we get into some next level shit. Like that doesn't make us feel inadequate enough. So we have fucking machine porn, which is these giant robotic dildos that just go at like 6,800 RPM. You know, and that really makes you feel bad about your abilities in the bed. And then it's like the steam engine finally got its revenge on John Henry, you know? And in the future, when the robots take over, when you get home and you hear your wife having sex with someone that's not you, you're going to pray that it's a black person. Because if it's a robot, you know what they say about black people, once they go black, they never go back, right? Well, once they go bot, they never go not. And that's a fact. Okay? So I'm a Jew. Sometimes people tell me I don't look Jewish, like that's a fucking compliment, thank you very much. But, you know, I'm proud of being a Jewish. We invented some good things like the theory of relativity, quantum physics. I mean, that was mostly Einstein, but we all take credit for it. We invented, or we say we invented hummus. But on the flip side, there was the atomic bomb, which killed a lot of people, melted their flesh right off of them, as we're responsible for that. Also, we pretend we invented hummus when it was definitely the Arabs. Let's be real here. The Arabs invented hummus. But you know, my mom told me to go to the Jewish deli the other day. She said, pick up some challah bread. So I go there. I ask the guy, hey, what's the challah cost? He's like, what do you mean, what's the challah cost? I said, how much, what's the Holocaust? You're like, you are a Jew, you don't know what the Holocaust is? You're not a Jew, get out of my store. Then my mom convinced me to go to synagogue one day, and the same guy was giving the lecture. You do not need proof to believe that God is real. You just need faith. So I raised my hand, I said, how do you know what is real? He said, what do you mean what is real? You're a Jew, you don't know what Israel is? You're not Jew. Get out. And I don't know if there's a heaven or hell, but if there's a hell, that guy's definitely going to hell. And I hope Hitler's his bunkmate, because Hitler definitely knows how much a loaf of challah bread costs. Thank you very much.